Hey guys, this is Adrian from PDC coming at you with yet another video. Today we have a very, very special guest. This is SUPRA, aka Steven, aka the ZORO God. He was my teammate in the core TCG LA Regionals 3-on-3 last week, where we got 4th place, just two spots away from getting that serial Luffy. So close. But yeah, dude, Steven did a great job playing and piloting ZORO, you know, beating some amazing matchups, and he's here to kind of show you guys the sauce and give a little bit insight that other ZOROs don't have. So yeah, any intros?
Yeah guys, SUPRA here, aka Steven. You guys have probably seen me around locals in San Francisco, and I've also been to a couple of regionals, but yeah, this is my first time revealing my face, and yeah, we can drop the sauce.
One top 8 finish, one top 16 finish, multiple finishes. He's got himself the serial Luffy. He's pulled the manga Luffy. Yeah, I think a lot of winning from this guy right here. So you want to show him your prizing?
Yeah, sure. So we have top 64. I got the Chopper, top 32 Usopp, and top 6 Zoro.
Yep. So yeah, every team person got this set of cards, and yeah, definitely see you guys around for the next 3-on-3. Yeah. So let's go ahead and get the deck list started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nice. Alright.
So first we have the one-drop Namis. You know, one of the best red searchers, honestly. For Zoro, it's like a weenie on board, you know, to use in effect with like your Magras and your Makinos. So really good there.
Yeah.
And next we have the Buggies. Also, probably like I would say the next best searcher. You know, search out your events, and like just having that 3k body on board is like just really good for Zoro, and just good in general, and the effect helps too with the non-slash attribute.
Yeah. And to finish out the searchers, 12 searchers in total.
Yep, 12 in total. Now last but not least we have Curly Dadan. Honestly, if you have to compare all the searchers, they're probably the best searcher for red in general. But you know, just a 3k body on board, can search out all of your one cost, you know, search out your Namis and your Buggies. So yeah, just the body on board and just to search for your other searchers. Really, really good.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you ever like not see your searchers in a game, or do you always have a combination of Nami, Dadan, and Crowley?
Honestly, for like most of my recent games with Zoro and like just overall, you always see your searchers. Like if the games that you never see your searchers at all, or like if you see like maybe one or so, that's like you're pretty low rolling, but there's just a less probability chance of you just not seeing your searchers. So you're always gonna like see a couple of them at least.
Yeah. Got it.
Alright, next, so we're gonna end with the searchers, and we're moving on to our weenies with effects and stuff. We have the 4 Magras. I feel like these are good in the meta right now, especially if you're playing all these weenies. With Zoro in the meta, you just want to like pretty much run down your opponent, and so these help a lot with just having your small weenies out. You can just bump them up to like 6 or 7 swing with your Zoro leader and just go from there.
Yep.
Let's see. Next we have 2 Nico Robins. Honestly, they're just like tech cards, really good. They're also weenies, just having a body out, but also you generally want to save them for the on-play effect, KO a 1k power or less. Really good into the Saka matchup, you know, popping the Rebekahs, and like you can combo it with like the new Firefish stuff too. But yeah, Nikos are really good. Next we have the 3 weenies. The one cost 3k powers. As you can see, I have 2 Sunnies and 1 Sanjis here. The reason why I'm running the 1 Sanji is honestly I didn't have a 3rd Sunny with me, so yeah, that's why. But I think just having like, you know, the extra and weenies in the deck, it just works well with the Magras and, you know, more search targets for Nami too. So
Supra's being humble, but the real reason he's running 2 Sunnies and 1 Sanji is because there are some decks that have Wisdom Impervious and Strike Impervious. So when he's searching with his Nami, he wants to have the option of, you know, playing a card that you know isn't gonna be blocked by like let's say like a green buggy, right, of some sorts.
We don't want to tell them that,
We don't want to tell them the sauce. That's the sauce. That's the sauce. Yeah. So let's see, 10 weenies in total.
Yes.
Nine weenies in total.
Nine.
Got it. Okay.
That's excluding the searches, but yeah.
Yeah.
9. So next we're gonna move on to our 2K counters. So probably the best 2K counter, right? Makinos can bump up any 1-drop to like a +3 power. Works well with the Zoro leader because you can easily access the 7K power. Yeah, really good to go aggro. It could be used as like a pseudo blocker because if they have no board and you play this out, they have to answer it. So yeah, really good. Next 2K we have the Brooks. We're running 4 of. Yeah, just in this meta, just the constant 7K swings for the unplayability. You can attach the 2 rested dons after you play it to your leader and like your other characters as well. But just it's basically like a pseudo Makino in a way.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm running 4 of as well.
Yeah, I really noticed that like this deck just has like 12 Makinos basically. The Magras, the Makino, and then Brooks. It's just about buffing your leader and just swinging for 7s.
Yeah, it's like against the purple Luffy and like the Saka in matchups, right? Like they want to play their game of like like controlling board and like kind of doing their combos, but then like you swing 7s at them and you just pressure them. So that's the whole game plan. Then for the last 2Ks, we're running 2K Sanjis. Honestly, this one was like a bit of a tech. I feel like I'm running the extra, or like I am running the Sanjis for like a bit of extra 2Ks because most of your other 2K counters are like more playable 2Ks. And so they're just like a tech of like maybe against Enel you want to go super wide and just like play out the Sanji and just like pray, I guess it.
Yeah.
And then just like having the extra 2Ks, and it's also searchable with Nami. So
Yep. Sounds good.
So there's that. So next we're gonna move on to our other cards that aren't 2Ks and searchers, to our rushers.
Yep.
4 rush Zoros, a core Zoro staple, a core Zoro staple. I feel like if you don't have like your turn 1 playing all your weenies and stuff, which is like a low chance, maybe on turn 2, you can place down the Zoro and just get those fast swings in. The 5/5 swing if you're going first, I guess, but generally you want to like keep them up, go for that 6K swing with the down attached to your leader. Yeah, really, really good. Next we have the 3 rush Luffys. These are also good now that you're not running any 5 costs in Marcos, so you need some kind of like I guess high end card or like a top end card for a Zoro deck, and these fits it perfectly. They're unblockable if you attach Don, and easily a 7K swing with the Don attached to your leader.
Yep.
Generally, as you can see, I'm running 3. How come I'm not running 4? I feel like most games you're only playing 1 of these, if not 2 max. And so I feel like with the search targets with Nami and like everything, I'm bound to see 1, which is like fine. Like all you need to see is 1. So that's my take on that. All right, next we're gonna move on to events. We have 4 jet pistols. So this is also in the Zoro meta now, right? We just want to like go in for the kill. And with the jet pistols, I think Fire Fist isn't needed because your whole deck isn't like combo focused anymore. It's more so like you want to remove the blockers that's needed on like a down efficient turn, and the trigger is like really, really nice. Like if your opponents, if your opponents don't play around it, or like even if they can't sometimes, like it's just an awesome trigger sometimes. So and then most times when you are trying to go for a game, if you have like a line where you play the jet pistol to get rid of that blocker to like go for a game, it also helps. And just getting rid of like certain bodies.
I will say, as like a Saka main, this card, Jet Pistol, is probably the card you don't want to see the most out of trigger. It'll kill your Bartolomew's, and just like I think or Borsellino's, sorry.
Yeah.
But just in general, I think this meta has a lot of 6K characters. Like, Pauly 6K, Ohm is 6K.
Yeah.
You know, usually there's just a lot of 6Ks, and like Jet Pistol is just so dawn efficient. You know, 4 cost, and yeah, it's just a great card. I think we used to run out 1 or 2 of it back then, but
Right.
definitely, you know, see the reason why everyone's maxing out on it.
Yeah, it was like always a tech card, but I think in this meta, it's definitely like a 2 minimum, if not more.
Yeah, like I would even say like 3 minimum now.
Yeah.
That's how crazy.
And then
it is.
like for like, you know, the popular decks like Saka, right? It's like good trigger against Borsino, and then even for purple decks, just and getting rid of that 5 cost kid is like
5 cost.
amazing.
Yeah.
So and yeah, that leads us to our next card, which would be the new Fire Fist. At 2 life, I can use this effect. I mean, you can always use the main effect to -4 power, but at 2 life, you get to pop something that's like 0 power, and so it helps against the Saka matchups to pop the Rebecca if needed. Not only too useful in the other matchups, but you can definitely combo it with Jet Pistol and like maybe even the Nico Robin if needed. Otherwise, I don't think it came up to me in my games over the weekend. So, but I feel like it's a good tech card for sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like a Crossfire. Would you consider like reducing it down to 1?
I probably would consider it for sure, but I feel like you do need 1 in there just for those times where you want to get rid of that Rebecca in the Saka matchups. But yeah.
All right.
And next, another really great event card, 2 Diablo Jambes. So right, the whole Diablo Jambes, you can get through any blockers. The whole game plan of the Zoro deck now is just like go in, right? So these are like your saving grace. If you don't see your Luffys, you want to see your Diablo. If you don't see your Diablo, you want to see your Luffys.
Yep.
So these are just like the finishers. And like if you have 2 of these in hand or like both of these, you can really use these cards more liberally.
Yep.
To get that 1 life. Like let's say if they have a 1 life left, and then like you can't go for game, you can take that life by using this because you have another one in hand ready to go for game next turn. So
yeah. Just swing face.
Yep, just swing face. And last but not least, to finish it off, we have the 4 Rad Beams.
One of the greatest red cards ever.
Yep, one of the greatest defensive red cards ever. A 4 of course, and honestly, for the Zoro list now, you really want to use these to save your characters sometimes, but if not, you're just stalling the game until you can finish your opponent off. So yeah, that's why we have them in there.
Yeah, and that's the list, guys. So really great list. You can see that it's hyper aggressive. You got 2 Jambes, 3 Luffys, 4 Zoros, and just a bunch of weenies to swing 5, 6, 7s. You're just trying to rush your opponent down before they get to their win conditions. Do you want to talk a little bit about your matchups during LA?
Yeah, sure. So in my matchups, let me just pull it up a little bit right here. Yeah, so this is like a rough little draft here. I might recall things like a little differently, but I guess round 1 I went against RP Luffy. I think in that matchup, to be honest, I had a bit of experience with it. I didn't have like a crazy amount of experience, but I did play the RP Luffy deck. I treated it as like a Whitebeard deck. So for the 6k power leaders, generally as Zoro, you just want to like poke 6 at them. Just poke cards out of their hand. There's no need for you to like, attach more down for like an 8k swing or more, because the whole deck is run like you have your weenies, you have your cards that can, plus your weenies like your Magras and your Makinos. So you just poke their hand out, and you're always plussing your hand off of like all your searchers and stuff from the deck too. And that was like the whole game plan with that. He did brick, I guess, so to speak, but yeah, I think just swinging constant is 6k swings. It's like it goes a long way against any 6k power leader.
But I think like RP Luffy in general is a bad matchup into Zoro just because there's 3 life, and so he has a finite number of hand cards in his hand.
Yes. And
with so many targets, right, you're just swinging him down.
Yeah.
So you feel really confident into RP Luffy?
I'd say I would feel pretty confident. They could also break up in their hand as well and just have like half of it being non-counters or like so. And so you can easily finish out games if they take too much life.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, what's the next one?
Yeah, next one will be Purple Luffy. That one is also a matchup where, like, as Zoro, you just want to rush him down. They want to ramp to their bigger stuff. That one, honestly, my game plan coming in there was to just try to constantly swing 7k. I think 7k was like the magic number there, because it forces them to, you know, take the life or give me 2 cards. And most of my matchups, I mean, I faced 2 Purple Luffys, but for like my round 2 Purple Luffy, I had the opener of, I forgot if I went first or second, but basically I had a one cost 3k power out, and, you know, next turn I just played a Maga or Makino, bumped it up to 7, swung for 7, and then I swing for 7 again with my leader because I have the extra Don to, you know, play a Brook, or like even attaching 2 Don to my leader and just keep pressuring 7. And then that's my whole game plan, and so it worked for the round 2. He just couldn't live through the whole pressure.
Yeah. Do you jet pistol the kids though?
Definitely jet pistol the kids. Like, just don't, because that kid gives them so much value.
Yeah.
So definitely jet pistol those.
For sure. That's a good matchup. What's the other one?
And so next for round 3 we have Katakuri. In this matchup, it's very interesting because, you know, the whole game plan of this deck is to just go face, but, you know, Katakuris can, you know, trigger and like see some good stuff. Honestly, in his matchup, he didn't see any triggers, maybe 1 trigger, so it was pretty unlucky for him. He also kind of bricked up in his hand a little bit, but in that matchup, just stick with the same plan, and, like, you know, I would say if they trigger stuff, you know, you still have cards like Jet Pistol and like the new Fire Fist to, like, you know, kind of like get rid of those stuff. But otherwise, it is like the Katakuri matchup is like a little bit more difficult for set 5, but it's still definitely doable.
Yeah. Well, they do have a lot of, you know, dead cards in their hand early on. You know, they're running 4 moms. Some of them are running, you know, a lot more small moms now. And then they have to run Katakuri. So I think a lot of times you're going to see Katakuris not have the optimal hand, and they're just relying on their triggers to kind of, you know, develop their board.
Yeah.
Especially looking at this list, you know, seeing the Jet Pistol, seeing the Fire Fist with the Robins, I think that, you know, all their 5Ks can, you know, really be answered while you develop your own board and start swinging for 5s. So, yeah.
I do, and want to add to that matchup is that, like, with this build, you can go super wide, and just don't be scared of going super wide. So meaning, like, just play out that 2K Sanji or those Brooks, like, just play them all out if you need to. And then, like, they would literally have to, like, you know, have, like, all the triggers and, like, all the counters, because, like, this deck can go pretty hard into, you know,
pretty
Katakuri.
much the only card that you're really scared of is Gadatsu, right? And
yes.
Katakuri's run maybe 2 of?
Yes.
So not
2, maybe 3 or more, but that is the one card that will, like, it'll slow me down, but it won't, you know, be game changing, I would say. I mean, if they have it, they have it. But yeah.
Yeah, so round 5 and 6, you played against Enel.
Yes.
And then you split one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, Enel is a particularly tough matchup for Zoro, right? One would say that, you know, it's almost impossible to beat.
It is damn near impossible. Like, there's only one line that you can do, but yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you explain to them what the line is? Like, what is the road to victory that you can see for Zoro players?
Yeah, so, you know, this is like a rough idea, but generally with Zoro versus Enel, right? Like, you just want to build a super wide board and just poke with your leader. Generally, they won't counter out of any of your attacks. If they do, that's kind of like an out for you, because Enel's big game plan is to have a big hand size. So if you're poking cards out of their hand, that's like actually good for you. So generally, you're swinging in with your leader, they take all the way down to that, like, probably that 2 life threshold. That's when they start to, like, really, you know, counter out or, like, think things through. So the end game for that matchup is, like, just go super wide, and then hopefully you'll have a wide board and they'll have, like, 1 life, and, you know, if they don't see any Inkadatsus or like any kind of like answers for your board, you just kind of like go all in for like one turn, especially if you know you're gonna die next turn, and just kind of like hope they don't trigger out of their last life, or if they don't have all the counters in their hand. But yeah.
So what do you do when they start building a board? Like, are you addressing it while building your board, or how are you clearing their the holies, the the ohms, and all those things?
Right. Yeah. So if they have those cards out, I think the game plan generally is just stick swinging face and just going that route. If I have multiple jet pistols in my hand, I would love to save 4 Dawn to like just use it, because I feel like just holding 3 jet pistols in hand is like probably not the most optimal. Yeah. So I would generally just use jet pistol there. Otherwise, because if you're clearing board, you're still playing their game of like, you just get set back, and then it's like really, really tough. So I think it's like a very tough call to say, but generally you just want to like kind of like still pressure their life, and you just kind of have to play around of like, if you can take their last life by just going wide and just like going in, and just if they don't have the counters, it's very important to take their last life. Otherwise, you would have to read how the whole game state is and how wide of a board you have, and just kind of calculate and see when you should go for that last life or go for a game. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah. So you didn't play any Sakazukis during your run, but I will say that we did play test together many times, and I would say we split games 50-50 more.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, and I would even say leaning towards your side. You maybe took like a game or two more than I did. From my side as a Saka player, I think that ZORO is one of the decks to be feared, especially this build that SUPRA has, being honestly one of the best ZORO players in the Western scene. You play this deck really efficiently and put a lot of pressure on me as a Saka player, and I mean I wouldn't. I'd even say that it's favored for ZORO, right?
Yeah, honestly, I would say it is favored to ZORO for the fact that like most Saka lists are running only like 8 2Ks.
Yeah.
And like a lot of their 1K counters are very useful cards. So, and then even at that, like just the amount of pressure that ZORO can give, it's Saka could be like, it could be like game breaking for sure. Because Saka would literally have to see like, their Lucci answers, and like even just seeing counters in general, just seeing certain cards like Borsalino and stuff. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, guys, I know that we went a little bit over time, but I would say that this is a more in-depth guide and walkthrough for ZORO players. I hope that this was really helpful for you guys, and if you guys have any questions, we are recently opening up a Patreon, so for you resident red players, this guy is going to be an available resource for you guys, so look out for that announcement very soon. But yeah, man, thank you so much for doing this deck profile and giving everyone your expert insight. Do you have any last words and shout outs?
Yeah, just last words is shout out to the Bay Area. That's where we play at our locals.
Yep.
And that's where I get a lot of my, I guess, practice. Well, I mean some for like the in-person. Yeah. Also, shout out to Adrian and Steven, which is our Purple Luffy player for the 3v3. Like, I'm actually really proud of us. Like, I mean, we came in with a certain mindset, right, of like at least topping, and we achieved that. We were a bit short on the Zero Luffy, but I think I'm pretty proud of us. So
yeah, that's the mindset. We actually, going in, we were aiming for first place. I think we didn't hit that goal, but I think we did. Top 4 is damn good. I think this was probably one of the most competitive One Piece tournaments ever.
Yeah.
Every skilled player that was nationally ranked was playing at this 3v3 tournament instead of the main event, right? Everyone was aiming for it, and to come out, on top of all those other teams, I think we did a good job.
Yep.
So
did not do too bad.
Yeah. Guys, ZORO stands. This is the list. You will top if you play this in your locals, but don't hear from me. Anyways, I think we're gonna sign out here. See you guys soon.
Yeah,
Have
peace.
a good one. Peace. For everyone interested, this is the full deck list on One Piece Dev. The link will be posted in the description below. But in general, when in doubt, face is the place. If you haven't watched that video, please YouTube it. Have a good one. Peace.